Okay, the Lancer. Old school car, the new Ferrari, the Supra, the Mazda Vision again, the Citroen or the Citroen, the Audi R8, the Mustang, the Ford GT, the Honda NSX, and also the Lancer Group 3, which the car that I shut down. So it's one of those races. We let them get the overtake because I've never had this race, or never had this car in front of me, and then I have no idea what to do. Because it's a no contact sport. So then I'm going right on this Mustang, so I'm not trying to touch it. Okay. But then I'm driving this Lancer in front rear turbocharger. Okay. With the transmission and everything. Right. She's trying to avoid a crash. Right. So we're still on the right, and it's catching up to the pack, basically, or the car list. Okay. And then this NSX, because I'm turbocharger and on the transmission, we don't want to upset it, and then we do. So then, let's settle it. Okay. And then see where this overtake is. Okay. That they should let us have, given that we're a little out of place. Okay. So then we get the overtake, and then catching up to the car list again. Right. The Ford GT, a bunch of old cars basically, and then a Supra. So then we should be fine. I didn't even, but that doesn't matter, since they're old cars basically. And now just Ferrari. Should be fine. Okay. And then it does this. But then we're fine. We're fine. I just don't want to mess anybody up with this turbocharger crap. Okay. So then we get the overtake on the edge. And that's the end of the first lap. Yeah. Second lap. I bet you there's a fucking issue with somebody and a fucking asshole. You betcha. So we're trying to catch up to the car list again. And it's a turbocharger from rear Lancer. We're comfortable, but it's going to hurt at the end of the race, and it's starting to hurt, by the way, already. Since that was old cars, we drove defensively. The Mustang was behind us for some reason. Okay. So then we see this Mazda, but we don't know any of them from the front. Like, we just looked at the car list and we couldn't care. We saw the Citroen maybe, with the Citroen, and then same thing. Okay. Now this Mazda picked to the right, and then it moved to the left for some reason. Right. And then, sorry, I just have to. Okay. And then we're trying to catch up to the car list again, since we saw them. But that's it. We're driving defensively. We injured or damaged or just had contact with this car, and then it's already been enough. Even with the old cars. Because an overtake is such a maneuver, and then driving defensively is so exasperating and stressful. Exhausting. Right. That you just can't. Any incident is just like, I don't want to be thinking about this. I don't want to be remembering this. I don't even want to know any of this. It's just anger, frustration, and then just infuriating. Kidding. Whatever. We never catch up to them, and it doesn't matter. We finished third. It's a Mazda again, and the Citroen, or the Citroen for all intents and purposes, or for anybody who gives a fuck about or cares. And then the aspiration, or the temperature in the water, and then we're so pretty. That's right. Okay. The Corvette now in Group 3. The 4C, the Ferrari, an old McLaren, the BRZ, the Porsche, the R8, the McLaren again, but this time not so old, and then the Genesis, the Lancer, the Supra, the old Supra, and then us. Okay. And then you don't usually do a Corvette, but the Corvette is nice. Every once in a while, for whatever reason, I couldn't care less. It's just a car. Okay. So then we immediately have issues. We know it's the aspiration. We're trying to overtake or pass, get the pass on this 4C. But I know that there's a rear to this Corvette. Okay. But it's a lot of car and still no contact. So we get the overtake on the 4C and it's like, great. This should be not that difficult of a race. That's what we're thinking. But we don't know any of these cars. Okay, but then a Ferrari. And then it gives out on us at the fact that it's a lot of cars. Right. And then it's a Ferrari. Right. And then now this is where it gets difficult because there's a line of sight and then there's two lanes. There's the left and the right, and then they're all middling basically, or in the middle, trying to just mind each other and not make contact. And they're fine. Right. But then there's a Ferrari that is just unwieldy, to say the least. Okay. So then we take as much as space, right, and then we basically go off the track, trying to keep up with them and catch up to the car list. Okay, but then we overtake on the Ferrari safely. Right, now, this is on R8, and then we let the Ferrari pass again. Okay. Because they're unwieldy cars. Oh. Okay. Group 3 race. Right. Not trying to make contact with anybody, but then trying to see who's not minding or not being a sportsman like. Okay, but then that's you then right there. No, I'm driving a Corvette and then they're trying to see if they can also, right? Okay. Because then it's a lot of cars, like the 4C, like you can knock it around a little bit, but then I eventually have the overtake no matter what you do. Right. And so I was the buddy for that McLaren that I was like, not a lot of times the Corvette drives next to McLaren that I know of. Okay. Or a Ferrari that you let pass and then an Audi R8. Okay. So it was kind of decorum, manners, and then just like, okay. Good politically. Right. Economy of words. Diction. Right. And Dick is always on me at all times. Right. So now it's this Porsche. And we don't know if it's first place, we're just trying to catch up to it. It doesn't matter, I'm not trying to mess with it too much. Right. But it's a Porsche. Okay. So then I'm like, left or right? Immediately I know this is an issue. Or I know this is huge pain in the ass already. Right. Because then it doesn't, I don't, now I'm thinking that it doesn't know what to do. Okay. So it's just like, pick where you're going to be. Okay. But then I can't read it. I don't know what the hell it's doing or what it wants, or because it's rear basically. Oh, it's comfortable for them to drive, but they don't know how to telegraph or just communicate to me from the rear where the overtake is for me. Now, I said, I have this overtake. It's going to be on the left. So whatever you do, stay to the right. You can take the turn or the corner however you like, but stay to the right. Okay. And then they can't seem to do so. Now this is my overtake again, on the left. And then they take the left. On the left. I'm taking this overtake on the left. Okay. And then the fourth thing, I just have to. And it's like, I am so sorry, Porsche. Congratulations in the first place. But then it's fine. What do you want, right? Hmm.